You've probably watched the Queen's Gambit and thought, wait, what is the actual Queen's Gambit? Today, we're diving straight into it, the real chess opening behind the name. It begins with pawn to d4, and black answers with d5. The fight for the center starts immediately. Then comes c4, the Queen's Gambit. It's not really a pawn sacrifice, it's a challenge. White's saying, go ahead, take it. Let's see how you defend your center. If black takes the pawn, the Queen's Gambit accepted, white immediately fights back with e3 or knight to c3, planning to recapture and build a dominant center. But if black declines with e6, we enter the Queen's Gambit declined. Slower, more strategic, but full of tension. All right, the Queen's Gambit accepted. Black takes the pawn on c4, thinking they've grabbed some free real estate. But as we'll see, that capture comes with serious consequences. As we discussed, pawn to c3. By the way, this is the Queen's Gambit accepted, old variation. And guess what? According to modern chess engines, this line gives white a perfect 100% accuracy score. That's right, white plays this correctly, and the position is flawless. Every move builds control, harmony, and pressure. This is how you turn a so-called pawn sacrifice into total domination. Back to the game. Black, trying to protect that hanging c-pawn, pushes the b-pawn forward. It's a knee-jerk reflex, a very common move among players who panic about losing material. But here's the problem. That pawn push weakens the entire queen side and opens up long-term targets for white's bishops and queen. White immediately strikes back with a4, attacking the b-pawn head-on. This is classic Queen's Gambit technique. Don't rush to recapture. Attack the base of the pawn chain instead. The idea is simple. Break open the queen side, expose black's weaknesses, and take back control of the position on your own terms. Black pushes the pawn to c3, trying to hold on to that extra pawn and create some counterplay. But this move actually backfires. It overextends black's position and gives white open lines to target later. In the Queen's Gambit accepted, hanging onto that pawn usually leads to trouble, and this is the perfect example why. Now white's e-pawn captures black's b-pawn, and suddenly the position bursts open. You can already see the upcoming lines of attack. The queen and bishop are both ready to strike, and the entire queen side is falling apart. Black recaptures. C takes b, trying to restore material balance. But here comes the killer move. Queen to f3. A beautiful multi-purpose move, attacking both the rook on a8 and the pawn on f7 at the same time. Suddenly, black is in big trouble. Defend one and the other falls. Classic Queen's Gambit domination. Bishop to b7. Probably black's best bet to protect the rook, but even here, black has to give up something. There's no perfect defense. Queen takes the bishop! And black responds with knight to d7, trying to connect the rook and queen, block the check, and somehow hold the position together. But it's too late. Queen takes the b-pawn, and the entire queen side collapses. Black's structure is gone. The material balance is shattered, and the Queen's Gambit accepted turns into a complete disaster for black. All right, we've gone through the classic Queen's Gambit accepted and seen exactly how it unravels for black. But remember, this opening isn't just about solid play. It's full of hidden traps and sneaky tactical ideas. Before we wrap up this video, let me show you one very interesting development possibility that can completely flip the script if you know what to look for. Let's say white develops naturally with knight to f3, getting ready for the classical pawn to e3, a calm, standard setup. But suddenly, black strikes with pawn to c5. This is known as the Gunsberg Defense, an ambitious and underrated idea. Black immediately challenges the d4 pawn and, with the queen ready to back it up, aims to flip the position from solid to aggressive in just one move. White calmly responds with pawn to e3, the classic and most principled move. It reinforces the d4 pawn, opens the diagonal for the light-squared bishop, and keeps the position solid. The Gunsberg defense continues. c5 captures the b4 pawn, and then white calmly plays bishop takes c4, restoring material balance, So far, black is still up a pawn, but if black gets greedy and tries to grab one more, that's where the trouble begins. Watch closely. The next few moves will show exactly why overconfidence in the queen's gambit can be fatal. Black might be thinking, I'll just take one more pawn and trade queens. No big deal. Black greedily captures the e-pawn, thinking they're just cashing in on one more free pawn. But here comes the killer move. Bishop to f7, check. The black king has no choice but to take the bishop. And the moment it does, the queen is gone. An absolute stunner. One of the many deadly traps hidden in the queen's gambit accepted. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, so you never miss the next gambit, trap, or brilliant tactical masterpiece here on Timur's Tactics.